Hi, and welcome to our Facebook Friday. It's always nice when we get to this time of the week because hopefully most of you can take a break from your day jobs and have a couple of days to do some things that are a little bit different or something that you enjoy more. So today we're going to make some cards using, let me grab this. This is super cute. The Encircled with Love stamp set. And this actually pairs with the I don't know if you can see this. It's the 1 7/8 inch punch. It's one of our new punches that is super fun and it fits exactly around this. And you'll see how I use this today. But I like using the punches because sometimes they just go a lot faster than if you're die cutting everything. So I am pairing this today with, let me show you I think it's called Boho Vibes Designer Series paper. Is that right? That's correct. Boho Vibes. And it's item number 165144. But I love the colors in this. And I tried to kind of spread some of this out for you so you could see it. But this paper is super cute. Lots of fun colors. It has your yellows, your blues, your greens. The cloud cover as your background, which is super cute. I really like this one where it pulls in the yellows and the petal pink. And then you have your, I think that's balmy blue, if I remember correctly. Or that could actually be cloud cover. Let me look. No, it's actually cloud cover. So very cute. So these are the papers that we're going to be using today with this set. If you would like to join my email list and you have not already done so, please go to my website and a pop-up will appear where you can join. It's inkycreationsbylinda.com and you can join there. At the end of today's cards, I'm going to show you a couple of other things that are coming up that I think are really nice, and hopefully you can get some information on that in case you want to take advantage of it. But I think there's some really fun things that are coming up here in the next few weeks that you'll want to take advantage of. We're also going to use these, they're called muted palette dots. These are going to be the embellishments that we use today. Everything you see that we do on our cards today, if you place an order for $40 or more, you will get the card kit, and it will include enough ribbon and embellishments to assemble your cards. You will not get a full pack, but you'll get enough to put on your cards. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start making our first card using this set. And I'm going to move this up a little bit. So our first one is going to use a petal pink card base, which is really fun. And then I'm not going to do anything on the inside of the cards today, but I will give you a piece of 5 by 3 3/4 white to put on the inside. And that way you can stamp anything on the inside that you would like. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do with this is we are going to use this really cute stamp. Let me show you. I don't think I went over all this, but all of the stamps that are on here, which are really fun. You have Way to Go, Happy Birthday Wishes, You're on My Mind and In My Heart, Thank You, A Little Something for You, and With Love. And then there's also a little flower in the middle that says sorry. So this is a really nice set that you can use for just about any occasion. And I just think it's really fun. So I am going to grab a scratch sheet of paper and put underneath this so that I can stamp off to the side. So I am going to do petal pink ink on the petal pink card base. So let's do that. Let me set those off to the side. And this, we're going to use the stamp that says Happy Birthday Wishes. Okay, so I just want to ink that up. And then I'm not going to stamp off. I'm just going to go ahead and stamp it full strength, because whenever you do the tone on tone, especially with the petal pink, it's not super obvious anyway. And it's a little bit muted, which is what we want. So some of this is going to go off the page, which is fine. So let's kind of stagger these a little bit, just to give it a little bit of interest. Here we go. We'll do one more up at the top. There we go. We'll do the same thing on this side. Sometimes this is kind of nice to create a background for your cards, because you're really not having to do a lot, and you can let the stamps and the ink kind of do the work for you, which is kind of fun. So, all right. So let me clean that ink pad, or that stamp rather, really quick. We'll move this. I hope you guys have had a nice week. It is definitely feeling like summer has arrived. I hope that, I know some of you are getting flooded out in the Northeast, so hopefully you are staying safe and you don't have a lot of damage, which is always nice. I have some water there. Let me grab that. Okay, so you will have a piece of designer series paper, as well as some Cajun Craze cardstock, and we are going to just glue this down to each other. So we're going to set our card base off to the side. So let's grab some of our glue. And you can use seal if you would rather use seal. I am not always the best at putting this where it needs to be exactly the first time around. So I like to use the multi-purpose glue just to give me a minute to make sure I have it where I want it to go. Hi, Anna. It's good to see you. Hopefully you're not getting a ton of rain. All right, and then we are going to use our Secret C ribbon. And this is just one of our in color ribbons. And we're going to tie a knot around this. And then we'll kind of put it where we want it. So let's just kind of tie this. One thing that I try to do is if I'm sending you a card kit, I will try to cut your ribbon extra long, because there is nothing worse than trying to tie a bow or a knot and it's just not quite long enough. So I do try to give you a little bit of extra, just so you're not dying when you go to make that knot. All right, so now that you have this, you're just going to kind of slide it maybe a third of the way up from the bottom. You did, Anna. Hopefully you guys are doing okay and not getting flooded out like some of these places are. This has definitely been a year, that's for sure. Okay, so I am just going to adhere this flat. I'm not going to use dimensionals on this because we're going to pop up some of the other stuff. So I want to make it to where I can mail it for not a huge amount. You know, somebody was talking the other day about postage, and the sad thing is I always buy the forever stamps, and so I don't even pay attention to what the postage is anymore. That's probably not a good thing. The only thing I really noticed are the packages that I ship. So, hey, Tammy, I just saw you on here. I hope you're having a good week. All right, so now we're going to take that same stamp that we just stamped all the background in, and we're going to use Cajun Craze and stamp it on this white. So the white is using the 1 7/8 inch punch, and then the Cajun Craze is a 2-inch punch. So you'll kind of see how these fit together. But this is, I really like this new 1 7/8 inch punch. It just really fits nice. One of the things that's nice about these circles is it doesn't really matter, you know, you don't have to worry about getting it straight. You just want to get it even, because you can always turn the circle to make it straight. All right, so there we go. There's our happy birthday wishes. I like the font that they use on this. It's really cute. And then we are just going to glue this down to our Cajun Craze 2-inch circle. So let me grab a little bit of glue. These are really fun cards that are easy to make up, and they're great, especially if you're wanting to make up, quite a few, and just have them on hand. And you'll see the different ones, but I just really like this set because it has thank you, birthday, what else did I say? With love, thinking of you, way to go, so like a graduation or a congratulations. And then there's also one, a little something for you. So you could even make it Christmassy and then make the inside a gift card holder. So you could do that as well. So let's go ahead and put some dimensionals behind the happy birthday wishes, just to give us a little bit of height. I have this one that I'm almost done with. So let me go ahead and finish it up. Boy, I'm glad today's Friday. It seems like this week has lasted a long time. I'm not sure why. But unfortunately, it didn't mean that I got any more done. I just felt like the week was dragging. All right. So now we're going to take this and we're just going to put it somewhere around the upper part and just overlapping the two. And then we're going to use these muted palette dots, and these are really cute. So the colors in this are the Cloud Cover, Mossy Meadow, I think this is Darling Duckling. You know, it does not tell us. Anyway, it's a yellow. I think it's Darling Duckling though, and then the Petal Pink. But these are really cute to use with this paper. And again, in case you missed it in the beginning, this paper is the Boho Vibes, which is really fun. So I'm going to we'll put one right here. And then how about if we do one of the cloud cover ones on this Secret Sea? That color combination is really, really pretty. And then we'll do another, tell you what, let's do a yellow one just to kind of spice it up a little bit. We'll do a yellow one over here. So this is card number 1. And again, if you place an order for $40 or more, I will send you this card kit for free, and it will contain everything you see on here. You'll get the 3 embellishments, and you'll also get the Secret Sea ribbon. So that will give you everything you need. Plus, I will give you a piece of 5 by 3 3/4 white cardstock to go on the inside, so that you can stamp something in there, or maybe use a little bit of designer series paper and finish it off. All right, so there's card number 1. All right. I'll be honest, the next 2 cards, you know, I usually try to pick out my favorite, and I really couldn't. They're both really fun. So you can tell me which one is your favorite, but I thought they were just really fun. So I did put the measurements on here so that you can take a screenshot if you would like. So you have cloud cover for your card base, and then Secret Sea. And this is 4 by 5 1/4 that's going to go on here. Before we glue this down though, I'm going to put these pieces on here first. Okay, so let me kind of show you how these are going to go. This one is going to go in the upper corner, and it's 2 inches wide by 1 3/4. And then you're going to have a piece that is 2 inches wide by 3 1/4 that goes down that side. And then you will have this one that's up here, and it is 1 3/4 inch wide by 3 inches tall. And then you'll have the one on the bottom right, which is 1 3/4 inch wide by 2 inches tall. So they're going to go down like that. So you can take a picture of that, and then I am going to remove the sticky notes so that we can glue everything down. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to remove this, if I can get it off. It helps if you don't have fumble fingers. So let's just put a little bit of adhesive back here. And then the way this ends up is you're not going to have much of a border. It's just going to be a really narrow border. Kind of like whenever you do 1/8 of an inch versus 1/4. So we'll put that one there. Then we're going to take the 2 by 3 1/4 inch piece, and we're going to put it down here. So let's go ahead and throw some glue on the back of that. This paper is fun. It's just, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of just something that's, I don't know, almost like modern or an Art Deco or something like that. All right, now we're going to take our 1 3/4 inch wide by 3 inch tall piece, and we're going to glue it in the upper right hand corner. You'll have to tell me which one of these patterns is your favorite as well. I just really like the different colors in this. They're just really fun. All right, so we'll put that one right here. Try to get that straight. There we go. And then our final piece is 1 3/4 inch wide by 2 inches tall. And this one is going to go on the bottom right. And so, there we go. All right. So now what we're going to do is you will have a white 1 7/8 inch circle, and we are going to use Secret C and stamp the thank you stamp on this one. I'm going to, whoops, I should have glued that on. That's all right. We'll do that in a second. This stamp is really pretty, and you'll see whenever we stamp it, but it ends up having the Secret C throughout the whole thing, and then leaving the middle part white. It almost looks like you had Secret C paper and you embellished or did like a white embossing, but it's really pretty. Let's see. Make sure this adheres well. There we go. And look how pretty that is. I just really, really like that. I think it's very pretty. All right, so this one is going to say thank you. So while we're letting that dry for just a minute, we will take our piece of Secret C that we put all of our different shapes on and go ahead and glue that to our card base. So here we go. And obviously, you know, one of the things that I really like about this card is you could use a lot of your scraps to make something that's comparable to this pattern. And that way you don't, you know, lose a lot of your paper, which is kind of fun. All right, so now I'm going to glue the back of this and put it on our cloud cover. Okay. And we will put that in the center of our 2 inch cloud cover punch. There we go. All right. So before we put it on our card, what we're going to do is take, you can either use tear and tape or you can use Stamp and Seal. And I actually am going to use tear and tape because last night I took my Stamp and Seal And I think it's downstairs. I don't think I brought it back up here. So we're just going to kind of run this along the back, and then we will take off the sticky side so that we can put our twine on the back of here. So we are actually going to use the basic essentials pack of twine, and we're going to use the one that is kind of a gray color in this. If I can get this second side off, there we go. And let me show you a fun way to kind of make it look like you made a bow, but you really don't make a bow. You just wind the twine around. Okay, so you're going to take some of your gray twine and then kind of hold this so that you can get it started. And then I want it to kind of go diagonal this way across here. So I am just going to do that and get my basic shape. And then we're going to take our twine and just kind of make it mix and match over this. And try not to have it stick to you every time like I'm doing. And you can make your loops as big or as small as you would like. I'm going to make these not super large, but whoops, go a little bit smaller than that. And just enough. And then I'll go back with a glue dot and kind of make that go in the direction that I want it to. And then we'll do one here. Yeah, these are all kind of flipping on me. And we'll do one more and then have our end cut off on the other one. So let me show you what I mean about the glue dot. So let's go ahead and kind of cut this. There we go. And that's obviously a little bit longer than what we want. So now what I'm going to do is take a glue dot and force these to not twist. Okay, so just kind of, I want them to kind of, if I can keep this from hitting the glass mat, there we go, and just kind of get them to go. Obviously, this was a great thought, but sometimes you just have to play with it until it does what you want it to do. The nice thing is we're going to pop it up with dimensionals so nobody will see how many glue dots we have behind here. And we'll just make it look the way we want it to look. So then let's do a couple on this side. Yeah, these just really want to twist for some reason tonight. When I did the original ones, they didn't do this to me. But, you know, I guess that's usually how it works, right? Sometimes I think things happen on a video so that you can show others how to hopefully fix it. But then again, sometimes we just learn how to make it work. Okay, let's see. All right, there we go. We'll put that right there. All right, and then we're going to kind of flip it over and see what it looks like. And then we can also play with it once we get it on our card too. Okay. So let's use our dimensionals and kind of put a few of those down. So let's grab some of those. And so I'm just going to kind of put some of these over the twine just to make sure that it holds it in place. And then obviously you can still put a couple around the edges so that it will give it the layered effect that you're wanting it to give. All right. And then we'll kind of shape this a little bit too once we get it on the card. Okay, so now we're going to take this and put it in the center of our card and write thank you. And then to get this one to kind of untwist, I'm going to use another glue dot, but this time, whoops, where's it at? I am going to kind of untwist it and then stick it down on the bottom part of this so that it's not super noticeable, but yet it'll hold it in place. Okay, so, and we'll just kind of put it right there. And we can always put an embellishment on top of it too, if you want. And then we'll pull this one piece out. There we go. And then you can trim that if you want. We'll kind of separate these out just a little. There we go. And then that way, it kind of gives us that bow look without having to tie an actual bow. Sometimes it might have been easier though, right? So, okay. So let's put our embellishments on here. So we're going to grab our muted palette dots and let's put a couple of our cloud cover ones up here on the right corner. And then we'll put another one on this thank you. I think the Secret Sea and the cloud cover are really pretty together. And then let's do a couple of yellow ones. Maybe we'll do one right here. And then we'll do, I don't know, maybe we'll do one of the green ones up here, kind of in the corner. All right, so this is card number 2. Kind of fun, right? It's just one of those basic cards that it's nice to get it in the mail, but you didn't really have to spend a lot of time putting it together. And obviously, you can use some of your scraps, which is always nice. All right, so our final card that we're going to do is a basic white piece of cardstock. And then we have a piece of Daffodil Delight that I am going to just glue down. And we will just put that on the center of our card front. And this Daffodil Delight is 4 by 5 1/4. So it's just a basic size. And the white, all of our card bases tonight are 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. Okay. All right. And then you will have this piece of designer series paper. I think this is so cute. We're going to put it right here. And then you'll have this petal pink cardstock. We're going to put it right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue those down. You know, I never have thought before about putting Cajun Craze with the petal pink, but it really looks nice together. All right, and then you are going to have in your kit a couple of punched out circles, and then these have been embossed with the plaster embossing folder. So you'll have one, and I think these are both 1 and, that's not true. The smaller one is 1 3/4 inch, and I think this one is 2 inches. It is. And then the yellow, this is Daffodil Delight, is a 2 inch punched out circle. And both of these have been run through the plaster embossing folder. So we're going to glue these onto the card front. So let's just glue these down. And we'll put one right here. And then we will take the blue one, or cloud cover. It's not really blue, but it certainly looks blue, especially next to these shades. It's very, very pretty. We'll put it right here. And then on your 1 7/8 inch white punched out circle, you are going to put a little something for you. And I am going to use our Cajun Craze ink for this. So we are just going to stamp that up. This will also be a really cute stamp set for Christmas. I can see us making a lot of little tags with this, especially with this 1 7/8. It'll be really nice to have that. Okay, and then we are going to just glue that onto our Cajun Craze 2-inch punch circle. So let me grab my glue. And put that in the middle. Okay, and then I am going to pop this up on dimensionals. So let's grab, let me get the bigger ones. Let's grab a couple of those. Can you guys believe that it is almost the end of June? I mean, we are looking at the year being half over. So hard to believe. It has just flown by. All right, so now we're going to take this and just put this kind of to the bottom right of this. And it's popped up on dimensionals just to give it a little bit of height. And then again, we're going to use the basic essentials pack. And I'm going to use some of the white twine this time, and I'm just going to make a double bow out of this. Whoops. So you will just make a bow and then use a mini glue dot to adhere this. So let's just kind of make it to the size that we want. There we go. And then we will cut off the ends. And then let's grab a mini glue dot and put on there. And then we are just going to kind of tuck this on the top part of this. Okay, so again, let's use our muted palette dots. And let's put a few of these on here. So let's see, we'll put one of the petal pink right there. And then let's do one of the cloud cover over here. And maybe, how about if we use the green and put one right there? Okay. So this is card number 3. Yes, it is going to be Christmas in July soon, Tammy. So just to let you know, if you're on my email list, you will start getting information about this really soon. But I am planning to have a Christmas in July retreat, and I'm also going to be offering it to go. So if you are interested in getting information on that, please join my email list. And you can do that. And I want to tell you about a couple of specials that I actually have going on starting now. Since the beginning of summer has officially started and it's past June 21st, I am going to do a sizzling summer special, probably through August. So what we will do is for every order that you place over $50, I will contact you and find out what you would like as a bonus that I will ship with your card kit. So for example, this card kit, if you place an order using this QR code or go to Stampin' Up and pick me as your demonstrator, if your order is 40 or more, I will send you this card kit. It will include the twine, the ribbon, and the embellishments, enough to create these cards. And if your order is $50 or more, then I will ask you what embellishment you would like me to include with your order. Hey, Betsy, just saw your email. Thank you, Anna. If your order is $100, or I'm sorry, let me back up. If your order is $75 or more, I will send you a ribbon and an embellishment to go with your card kit. And if your order is $100 or more, I will find out what stamp set you would like. So if you would like to double up on a lot of stuff, because you will also get your 10% rewards for any order that you place, and then you will also get a free product from me, then I am going to do this as a summer special. Just to let you know, one of the reasons that I'm doing this is I am trying to earn the incentive trip for this year. I think it's doable, but it is going to be close. I will probably come in skidding sideways at the very end to try and accomplish this. But I feel like these extra items that I am going to be including with your card kit for orders that you place will certainly help me to get there. So with that said, let me show you a couple of other things that I do have going right now. If you are interested, one of them, let me see where I put that. Here it is. One of them is I design scrapbook layouts each month, and these are available for purchase. The deadline to sign up for this one, you will get two-page layouts. So that's one, and then here is the other one. Everything, you will get a full pack of designer series paper, plus the embellishments, plus the in this case, it's twine. You get these different colors of twine that are really cute. Everything will be cut and die cut for you that you see here that is not designer series paper. So you will have your black and white cardstock that's the 12 by 12. You will also have like the little die cut banners that you see here. And then like all of your letters will be die cut. And these are actually, on the back of them, they have the self-adhesive on them. So you can just peel it and stick it, which is really nice. So you will get all of that. You will also have all of the photo mats will be cut for you, and all you'll have to do is put your photos on there. So if you're interested in that, I do not remember the exact price. It's somewhere around $30 plus shipping, but everything you need will be in that kit with the exception of adhesive and a paper trimmer. So as long as you have that, you should be good to go. There's a little bit of stamping on there. Oh, you will also need the Tags to Go stamp kit or stamp set, or you can use a stamp set you already own. So in addition to that, another thing that Stampin' Up! Has going on right now that is really, really nice. And if you're on my email list, you should have received an email from me this morning, but they have this awesome virtual album retreat that they are offering to all of us. I got mine in the other day, and I will show you some of it. I may do like an unboxing video this weekend, but just to kind of just show you briefly, I mean, you have enough stuff in here to do 12 two-page layouts. It includes all of your memory protector sheets. Everything is in here. It's organized. And I think I may just do the unboxing thing this weekend so that you can actually see everything that's in here, because I know it's kind of hard with the way I'm showing this right now. But it has stamp sets. It has embellishments. It has all kinds of stuff. It is $250. And there will be an actual retreat in July. You will be getting, if you purchase this, you will be getting an email from Stampin' Up! Around the beginning of July, and they will give you the link to the special Facebook group that they're going to have. It will be recorded, so if you are not able to watch it whenever they go live, I think it's on July 16th, 17th, and 18th. But please don't quote me on that. I will have the exact dates for you. But if you purchase that from me for the $250, remember you get $25 in Stampin' Rewards. But I will also send you one of their nice albums. This is probably kind of hard for you to see because it's taking up the whole camera, but their albums are super nice. They have them in the D-ring as well as the post-bound. So if you place an order with me and order that virtual album kit, then I will get in touch with you and find out which type of album you would like, and I will send you that. The album is a $43 album, so it's a pretty good value for you to get if you purchase that. So that'll give you something to put all of your pages in that you have put together. So that is what I have for you today. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for watching either live or watching the replay, but I do really appreciate it. And I will have in the email everything spelled out as to what rewards I will send you with each price level. But thank you so much for your support, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week. Thank you.